Today is Wednesday, June the 5th, and we started the day with the McClellan oscillator right at zero. We expected, because of the 3-to-1 advancers and decliners yesterday, that we would be higher. Didn't know it would stop at zero. It would require now let's see, unchanged. Let's move on. The advancers and decliners were pretty even today, which is a surprise because we started off quite strong. But look at the relative volume. It was a little low in the Dow. It was right about on in the NASDAQ and right about on in the S&P 500. But we started very strong with the opening candles. And then we just drifted, had a little shot up at the end of the day. So here's the look at the green and red stocks. Google, Facebook, they're being affected, I think, by what the government is talking about looking into their practices. Apple had another strong update today. The market itself, the S&P 500, ended up at the top end of its range. So it took a bounce off of the 8 EMA as a test during the day and finished up 22 points. So 22 points. Let's look at that now on a weekly, and there we are on a weekly. So really what we're looking for now is resistance from the market when the Chiku span hits the 50, which would be right up about 28.39. Yesterday I said, looking at the 1 hour, that the top of the cloud was going to be resistance if we had an up day. So we opened up exactly at the top of the cloud and then pulled back. Next hour, pulled back a bit more, traded all of that. The following hour, the next hour, we stopped at the top of the cloud, and then we broke out and we moved a little bit higher. Where did we see resistance today? Right here. So we didn't quite make the Chiku span and the top of the cloud. So we're going to move our alert now to the daily Chiku span hitting the bottom of the cloud. So 28.30 is going to be resistance tomorrow if the market is up. But having seen the advancers and decliners being even like that on an up day, anything's possible tomorrow. But I would say we will be probably be a flat day tomorrow. We might test 28.30, but I don't think we're going to finish there or above it. Apple was up $3. Come on. Apple was up $3. It did pull back. It opened up here at 184.40, closed down here, finished off of its low and well off of its high. The 200 SMA is where we're going to get resistance on price, but the 200 SMA on the with the Chiku span right here is a little bit lower, and that's where we're going to see the first resistance, probably 185.20. But Apple is coming back really strong. We can draw a gap in here. Let's do that. Let's put in this gap, and let's keep an eye on it, because Apple, like many stocks, but especially Apple, loves to come back and test the top of a gap, and will sometime come down to test the bottom of the gap. Of course, sometime it'll fill the gap, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Caterpillar up 92 cents. Gold, you would have expected with the big open that we had that the gold miners would drop, but they didn't. The gold miners moved up. We finished the day up only 5 cents, but it still shows some strength. Let's look at the volume. And the trading volume was higher than yesterday, higher than the day before, which was Monday, and just a touch under Friday. So that's still, people are, for the most part, buying the gold miners. I bought Whirlpool today because I said that this was such a big candle. If we saw a pullback, it would be an opportunity to buy. I saw this pullback and I was wondering how much of a pullback we would have. So I was watching the 1 hour for WHR. and the day opened with this big drop, and then we started to move up. I made a purchase at 125.25, but I also sold next week's 126 calls for $2.16. So my profit would be 75 cents on the stock and $2.16 on the short call if we end up next Friday over 126. I see resistance on the daily chart. First of all, coming at the 200. So which would be, right, let's move this up here. So tomorrow, resistance is going to be at 126.17. And it's going to be tough to break the 200 with the Chiku span. We have the 200 SMA, which we've already broken on price, but the Chiku span has not. Today, we saw the Chiku span at this point try to break the 200, and it failed and came back down and closed here. So this is the area of resistance that we're going to look at, 126.17 tomorrow. But I'm fairly confident now that, especially if there is a change in the Fed rates, that this is going to be in the favor of Whirlpool. So as I said, I bought 300 shares and sold next week's 126 calls in equal amount.